U Sports Rugby is heavily underway, and to provide some insights on what's happening, we got CBC sports reporter Signa Butler joining us all the way via Zoom from Halifax. Signa, how are you?
I am so good, Savanna. I am happy to be here. I'm pumped for this U Sports show that you guys have on the go and glad to be a part of it.
All right, run me through it. Which rugby teams are standing out to you right now?
Well, if you go by the U Sports rankings right now, you've got Queens at the top, you've got Laval number 2, and you've got Victoria at number 3. All of them undefeated on the season this year, so they're looking pretty good. You've also got Guelph sitting in 4th. They've got 1 loss on the year. I can't talk about UBC because they're the defending U Sports champions. They're sitting in 5th in terms of the rankings, only 1 loss on the year. And then St. Vex rounding out that top 6, unbeaten on the year with 5 wins and a draw. So lots of contenders as we move towards the U Sports Championships.
Okay, we got to keep an eye on Ottawa then. Signa, are there any star players that are standing out to you right now?
Just purely statistics wise, but also because of their resume, you have to look at Lizzie Gibson from Queens. This year leading the U Sports in terms of statistics, 157 points, 11 tries, 102 kicking points. So definitely a star and has been since they came into the Gales program. They were the U Sports Rookie of the Year back in 2019. They won Player of the Year in 2022 and just a perennial All-Canadian. So Lizzie Gibson for sure keep an eye on. And in terms of the tries leaders, you've got Jessie Penny from Saint Vex, 13 tries this season, a third-year prop out of Newfoundland, starring for them, and Edia Pai from UBC, 13 tries as well. So they're the tries leader in the country. Again, a third-year wing. She's from Victoria, BC. So lots of strong players across U Sports.
You know, we got to talk about Florence Simmons. She was on that World Cup team this year, just silver medal just a couple weeks ago. She plays for UBC. She's active in U Sports. What type of experience does playing at the world stage give her in U Sports now?
Oh, big game chops, Savannah. Florence Simmons is the one to watch. She's just 23. You mentioned the World Cup that she was most recently starring at, winning that silver medal. She's already got 18 caps for country. Not only that, but she was a member of the Paris 2024 Rugby Sevens team that won a silver medal. So you have a player like that on your team, practicing game in and game out. That only rubs off on the rest of the team. So certainly a player of excellence that you have to keep an eye on this year.
Signa, it's very interesting because typically sports at the U Sport level do not feed into the national team as often, but rugby is a bit of the exception to the rule. Can you kind of go into that a little bit as to why that is?
Yeah, rugby is huge in terms of a feeder system into the national program. You look at the most recent World Cup in the 15s. 29 of the 32 members have U Sports connections, played at U Sports schools. That is phenomenal. And they're not just from one program, it's from a variety of different programs across the country from coast to coast. So I would say from a comparative perspective, maybe men's and women's volleyball draw some U Sports athletes, but nothing to the proportion that we see the rugby program draw from.
Queens and Laval are typically programs that are always on top. What do you got for me there?
Ooh, well, 2 very well supported athletic programs, I gotta say, Queens and Laval. But I mean, you look at student populations, the Queens draws about, 20,000, almost 30,000 students into their population. Laval's got almost 50,000. So that's just the population you're drawing from. But both of them obviously great undergraduate and postgraduate schools. So very attractive for an athlete to go to.
All right, Signa, what are some upcoming postseason matchups that you're keeping an eye out for?
It is nitty gritty time for the playoffs right now. So semifinals are on deck. Canada West goes first. They're on Thursday. You got a couple matchups. That's Lethbridge against UBC. You've got Victoria, and they're taking on the University of Alberta. So trying to book their tickets. Obviously, UBC is the host of nationals, so they'll automatically get a berth. But those are big play downs. On Friday, OUA, the semifinals there. You've got Brock taking on Guelph, Laurier taking on Queens. And Queens, if you've been following the Gales this season, they have got all the vibes going on and off the pitch. You can tell that they really enjoy each other's company and trying to get people to come out and watch them play. As for the RCQ, I'm looking forward to this one on Saturday. It's Ottawa against Laval. Ottawa, their only loss in the season came against Laval. This is like a duke it out affair. So watch out for that one. And the AUS crown will be decided next Wednesday.
I'm glad that you touched on some key dates there. When can people tune into the championship, though?
Oh, end of October. So spooky time, Halloween time, October 29th to November 2nd. UBC is hosting, so it's going to be at Thunderbird Stadium out in Vancouver. All of those matches on CBC Gem, cbcsports.ca. But you'll see 11 matches over 5 days, and it's going to be hotly contested. I think if I'm going at looking at a lot of these favorite programs across all of U Sports, I think rugby, women's rugby is like very tight.
Signa, thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime, Savannah.